Hey everybody, how you doing on this Sunday morning? Yes, this is Sunday Tie Talk with Jamal. And Florida's Board of Education was right about putting that part in, about the benefits that slaves got from slavery. That is correct. Skills which slaves did learn. Blacksmith, carpentry, brick masonry, all these metalworks, all these things blacks did learn as slaves. Listen, in Africa, well, most of these slaves were taken, they didn't even have the wheel. Now, many of you going to point to Egypt, and well, Egypt had chariots. Egypt do not consider themselves Africa. The Egyptian Empire did not consider themselves African. Matter of fact, they were actually called Lower Egypt, which is the African Sahara and all that area down there below the Sahara Desert. They would call them savages. Yeah, the Egyptians would call those who live below them in the Sahara Desert, which was the Africans, well, we say modern day Africa, savages. They didn't have things like steel. They didn't have things like iron. That's why when Shaka Zulu found it, discovered it, and molded into and started using it, he conquered almost all of Africa, the Southern Africa, and slaughtered over 2 million Africans, you know, the Iraq. After slavery, people say, when was America great again? Well, for black folk, it was, because those slaves who were former brick masons, carpenters, woodworkers, all those things, they were in high demand because you couldn't get it for free anymore. So they could go and move to different lands, different areas in America, and make out good. It's a shame the most prosperous time for black America was before the Civil Rights Act and the great fight against poverty. Truth be told, black folk was better off before the 70s than we were afterwards. But what Florida said is 100% correct. Also, I believe, I may be wrong on this, but I believe Florida put the black slave owners in there. You know, like William Ellison Jr., one of the most cruelest slave owners there ever was. So cruel, white folk had to go to him and say, yo, my man, chill. You know, there were black slave owners, and they weren't just there because they were buying former family members so their family members can be free. No, they were slavers. They were breeders. That's right. They will force men and women to have babies so they can sell them on an open market. You know, I constantly think of this movie Django, starring Jamie Foxx, Samuel L. Jackson. And everybody points to Stephen as the worst. How is Stephen worse than Jamie Foxx's character when he stood right there and watched Monsieur Candy sick dogs on people and rip that black man apart? And he stood right there and watched that to get his woman. Because the main goal was to get his woman, like most race hustlers. Like most black race hustlers today. They only start caring about black people whenever their hustle or their gang or whatever they want falls apart. So they lean back on black people as some type of, I guess, cordial or some pickup to justify what they were doing. But look at the movie Django. Look at the movie. Look at it. He wasn't worried about freeing slaves. He wasn't worried about stopping. He wasn't worried about doing none of that thing. All he wanted was his wife. And everybody else didn't matter. But in the end, he killed another black man, though. The last person Django killed in the movie Django was a black man. And he said the character was lower than the head house nigga, his character. But it goes back to the fundamental what I was saying. Ron DeSantis, and I'm a Trump supporter, and Florida was right. Slaves did benefit from slavery. Carpentry, blacksmith, brick masonry, concrete masonry, stone masonry, leathering, learning how to shoot guns. Look at Africa before Europeans got over there. And you can't count Egypt. They were no different than what the Europeans saw when they came to America. Didn't even have the wheel. Didn't even have steel. Didn't even have iron. And they were easily conquered. Talk to you later.